Hello, this is now the 5th. Let me look to give you proof. The 5th of February, and this is some news from the soccer games, and it is to show that this is ongoing investigation. This is something I undergo to find out hidden mysteries. And I'm not a whistleblower. This is not important. And it is not my ambition. Also ich will kein Whistleblower sein. Das ist nicht meine Absicht. Das ist auch nicht wichtig. Also um was es jetzt vom Inhalt her geht, ist es wichtig zu zeigen, dass hier irgendwas schief läuft. Denn ich will jetzt gerade mal zeigen, I want to show that I had been invited by the industry of armored cars. Also ich bin eingeladen worden von der Industrie, also nicht von der ganzen, aber von einem Ansprechpartner über gepanzerte Fahrzeuge. I do not think much about it to tell you who that was. That is not important. It is important that I was somehow invited to look if the protection would be enough, and it is about this man who sadly enough then was assassinated. And when I was asked, that was when I had to ask why he needed the protection. I was still a student at school, and I was asked because of my ancestry. I had some training. Yes, of course, I was reading detective novels, but I had the training because of my mother, and because hopefully not of false rumors, because I had a little bit training in body protection, little bit, but nevertheless I looked into it, and I went through everything. I asked why that protection was needed, who possible enemies, and so on. I do not want to tell much about it. It was, let me say, 1988, or could be 90, don't know, that's not important. There was the house of this Mr. Lübcke, I think so, and he was the house, and there was some wood. And there was a way, and here was a place, a Karneval, Volksfeste, often. And there was, I don't know everything, but the protection the police wanted to give him is not known, I cannot tell. But it is, in my eyes, something like prevent the enemy to have it too easy. So there were cameras and other things. Maybe they said they have something. I was looking from the perspective of the armored car. It would have picked him up the way out, and I was looking into possibilities to shoot him. And I thought, in the best case, he should wear a mask, or at least a helmet, and a vest, and there should be men with something to shield him. But that was too much, of course. It was on the left side, total security. And on the right side, I don't know, it is not left or right. It's only something I now make up. Total security to shield him, and here was the terrace. And of course, if there is an enemy, and he would surveil the house, he could find out how to kill him. He could wait till he goes to the Volksfest to talk to his, he was elected back then. It was later, I don't know, nothing about it, only from the papers. But I was there, and then I thought inside of the house they could look at windows and so on, but I understood total security and then de-escalation. Only not to make you an enemy. This is said enough, but this is often said: if you don't make yourself an enemy, you're not at risk. And this is of course ridiculous when you think from the bodyguard perspective or from the armored car salesman. So I was there privately, and I drove in the car, and they had cars that formerly had politicians, so it was not the high armored version, but something less. And he himself said, no, it was not him. It was coming from his environment. But I was allowed to use the car and to drive there, and there was someone to open the door, and I saw how the way was. Here I said you could make him secure. If someone wanted to kill him, he could do that. Because if not, if you wanted to prevent enemies from the military, he was not saying he was having one. It was my idea. I was like an investigator, one of the 3 investigators, thinking how can you protect someone totally. This was not wanted. So you can not want it. He himself wanted to live his life, to talk to everyone, but then sadly enough he was killed, I think, on the terrace. It was in the papers. Killed on the terrace. Here would have been possibilities, but then they had always been necessary to have personnel. I don't know what came out of it. I was only trying once the route and then driving back, and I saw where another vehicle could have pushed that vehicle out of the street. But overall, in the vehicle he would have been quite sure, quite secure. I think it was armor-proofed against, it was resistant against handguns. And I had that knowledge even now out of private interest, because I don't know why. Is it in the blood? And then there was the working place. This was a house, and on I will put that, I don't know if that was a roof, and that, I don't know, there was a roof, and there was stairway, and he was having some rooms, and people know where that is. It is something that is part of the government, and I had to find out where the enemies could be. That was not said to me, so I had to investigate like a journalist, and I found out by looking what the business was. It was on the doorbell. And then I had read the papers. I think I went to the town and asked where those people are around, and it had to do with looking for something. The enemies could have been in the merchandise field. I had no idea why that was a problem, but if there are enemies, I said, they could even shoot through the walls. I asked how that was built, and they did not want to say to answer me, because they found it too much to think about. The conclusion is that if you work somewhere and people even have, I don't know how he felt threatened. This I don't know. This was only from the perspective of the armored car salesman, to offer him a car. But then I had a little talk with police, and they said they don't like it. If this would happen, then many politicians would come and ask for the same. So it was not only Mr. Lübcke himself. Politicians, he was regarded as a politician. Some are superiors to police. So he was working as a politician man, if that is a title. Habe ich das also auf Englisch gesagt? Na gut, mal kurz auf Deutsch. Also hier ging es darum, aus der Perspektive Police Superior, aus der Perspektive eines Verkäufers von gepanzerten Fahrzeugen und eines Dienstleisters. Also man hätte dann auch mit einer Sicherheitsfirma das Personal stellen können, das wären mehrere Schichten gewesen. Und dann hat man auch schon etwas kalkuliert, wie viele und so weiter. Weil die Polizei sagte so unter der Hand, sie kann das nicht leisten von Personal. Also das wäre dann pro Schicht, also mindestens 10, 20 Leute hätte man gebraucht. Ja, und dann noch mit Krankheitsfällen einzurechnen, also das wäre dann so Veranschlagung gewesen. Und das war hier wirklich der Herr Lübcke, das war ungefähr 1980 bis 1990 ungefähr, der dann ja auch ermordet worden ist. Und die Bedrohung ist da gewesen, weil er natürlich als Polizeivorgesetzter, ich weiß nicht genau, wie das war. Und das ist dann sein Dienstgebäude, das war auch bekannt, wo das war. Da habe ich gesagt, da kann man hier mit der Panzerfaust durchschießen. Es war damals Jugoslawien schon das Problem und dass Kriegswaffen auf dem Markt sind. Und was ich hier dann so sonst gehört habe, das war alles privat hier, so wie so ein Detektiv eben arbeitet. Ich hatte aber auch schon das Fahrzeug, mit dem bin ich mal gefahren. Und da habe ich da drin gefragt, wie das denn gesichert ist. Und da habe ich gesagt, naja, das ist nicht gerade das Biest des amerikanischen Präsidenten, also das könnte auch leichte Raketen jetzt abwehren. Das hier ist einfach so Handwaffen. Und warum ich das überhaupt erzähle? Weil das Business von der Familie ist. Also das Interesse an sowas, sie waren früher Bodyguards. Die hätten sowas gemacht. Da könnte ich jetzt weiter erzählen und nachdenken. Da müsste man dann auch anschließend noch alles noch im Umfeld noch untersuchen. Man müsste auch, wie die drei Detektive das gemacht haben, man müsste dann auch einfach noch sehen, wo der einkauft, wo sich die Familie aufhält und so weiter. Das ist Big Business, also wenn man jetzt die Sicherheit garantiert, und das tut man ja, da müsste man also praktisch jeden Richter, das meine ich im Ernst, also das wäre nicht nur dafür, das wäre auch Judges, das wäre auch Police, das wäre Politicians, habe ich ja hier schon geschrieben. Das wäre aber auch eigentlich jeder, der irgendwie in den Fokus kommt. Denn es kann nicht sein, dass man das hier so, ich glaube irgendwie Regierungsgebäude war das. Und da war jemand anderes, der fand das schon nicht gut, dass ich da fragte, weil der hatte so wenig Kollegen eigentlich. Eigentlich hätten die ja schützen müssen. Und dann wären die Nächsten gewesen, dass man gesagt hätte, ja, wenn er jetzt, irgendwie hat er so Bedrohung gehört oder andere haben das gehört, das weiß ich überhaupt nicht. Aber, interestingly enough, it somehow came to the ears of my mother. And it was similarly when GSG 9 was established. Someone came and asked my mother. So, in case she could help, she was regarded as trustworthy. I now think this is not right. And they came to her because they knew there was military in the family not through her alone, no, not through her husband, the other husband, you might say. And this is now 15 minutes. This was Mr. Lübcke when he was having, I don't know, where asked for it. He did not like it, the idea to be restricted because of security issues. And it is something I thought was a little bit not in favor of the police, that they said we cannot give the protection needed, and then a private company, and I think it was a security firm, oh sorry, and car rebuilding factory, and then it was that I had heard of export to Russia. So I thought there is a possibility to protect, but why is mostly asked for de-escalation? Do they think they can appease and say we do not investigate anymore because he was a police superior? And then I came as a student, I was a little bit older, I had a beard, and I did not say that I was 19, 20 years old, 19 years old, I did not say that, and I did not tell anything. But I calculated as I did today, and I went further. Scenarii had to be looked through. And I can still do that. Why do the paperwork say? I think it is wishful thinking. I am belonging to the old stuff. I don't. I want to start my life because, do I need to explain it? I don't think so. And this is something I will tell you about in the next video. It is about the mask making business, and that I think was mostly from the Musketeer, or was it their speciality they had developed. This is for wounded soldiers who lost part of their face, but it can be used in the theater, it can be used, it is used in the police force. And this also was something then explained from Europe to the United States forces, and they gave it back and forth. So it is not to say that one had developed it, the security techniques, and the others didn't. It was worldwide. And I think when you think about it, this is of concern to the world, because, as I will explain in the next video, I think, there was the legend, and I think it is true, that they gave protection for an American president as their bodyguard. See you then. Thank you.